What's going on, guys? Murph's YT13 here, and we are back again with another Monday Night Raw review. And wow, I mean, isn't the WWE at an all-time low? And I hate to start it off, and I always do. I always start it off so friggin' negative, but that's all I can muster up at the moment. It's just so brutal. However, we'll jump straight in. I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible because, you know, to be honest, I was flicking in between certain things. I did some washing. I was doing so, like I even mopped the floors while Raw was going on at some point. Only stopped to really focus in and watch on a couple of things, and one of those things is on your screen right now, and that is the big man Kevin Owens. All right, let's get into Raw. Let's get into it. The factions, they all faced off. There's, four of them? This was great. I actually really enjoyed this little bit of the show. I really enjoy the fact that people have something to do, but I really cannot stand just the 16-man tag team matches. It's just like, okay, you're in a faction, let's just throw everybody in the ring. I thought the way they set it up was brilliant. I don't think you have to have a 16-man tag team match, but whatever. Rhino returned. It was kind of cool. I saw a meme on Twitter that said NXT rookie debuts on Raw, which was really good, which was really smart, really clever. But, you know, they're clever to bring in Rhino. He can still go. He still looks pretty much the same as what he did when he was in the thick of his run. All of these teams faced off. They got this as awesome chance. I think they're a little bit, I don't know, the crowd's looking for something to really enjoy about these shows. And when they get something different, what happens? They actually enjoy it. It's phenomenal, isn't it? It's actually phenomenal. But I felt like Sheamus, he probably just went on for maybe a little bit long. And I want to see it become a little bit, I know he's the top dog, he's the main man. I'd like to see it become a little bit more about the other guys as well, because then, although, you know, I'm almost willing to bet that this faction is pretty much around purely 100% for no other reason than to get Roman Reigns over. So I'm guessing that by the time it's all said and done, it'll mean nothing anyway, and, you know, these guys will just be back to the mid-card, which they essentially are anyway. But we then moved on. We had a fatal four-way 16-man elimination match, and wow, did this go on for a long time. I think I went on and did all of my chores while this match was on. I thought, okay, surely there's going to be something better on after this match. I'll go and do all of this housework and all that sort of thing, all that boring stuff while this match was going on. So I didn't actually see a ton of the match, but from what I read and from what some of you guys have told me, it was actually quite a lot of fun, and there was some good action. So, it was great. I happened to come in at the end, and I don't understand why they insist on having champions lose. I really have no idea why you have to pin the champion. You've got Sheamus. He gets pinned by Roman Reigns. We already knew he was going to get a title shot. We already knew he was the number one contender. You don't need to pin your champion. You know, they did it to Seth Rollins. They pinned him God knows how many times. I don't understand why they insist on having their champions lose. I mean, why can't your champions look strong? Why does it... Anyway, I mean, I feel like we just go over this every week, and I feel like a broken record. So I'm just going to move on. I'm talking to a few of you guys on Twitter. Everyone's done, everyone's done sort of caring about why they do things, because they just do. They just do things, and that's just what we've got to accept, unfortunately. After that, I put down all of my chores. I moved on because I heard Kevin Owens' music, and so I thought, let's sit down and watch my favorite wrestler in the world. I'm not afraid to say it. Kevin Owens is easily my favorite wrestler in the world. His promos, fantastic. If you haven't seen him, go on the YouTube channel and have a look at some of his promos of late. The guy's just brilliant, but, you know, he doesn't get booked like that on TV, but, you know, the little nuggets of gold that he has produced over the last few weeks is fantastic. Tyler Breeze and Summer Rae made their way down to the VIP section. Really cool, really smart to showcase Breeze in this way. He doesn't need to be in the ring all the time, because if he was in the ring, he'd be just losing anyway. But, you know, I thought Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler had a hell of a friggin' match, man. This was hard-hitting, and, you know, kudos to both of these guys. They, you know, Ziggler's fantastic, and it makes you want to see a Ziggler-Owens sort of feud. It makes you want to see it more often. And I do like that the Intercontinental title is slowly becoming that workhorse title again. The match, you know, sorry, the title that can produce a match in the middle of the show. You know, it can take up sort of half an hour of the show, and you can get a really, really cracking wrestling match out of it, and I really like that. I thought the match did phenomenally well to get both guys over, and you don't see that very often, you know. You don't see it very often that a match elevates both guys, because usually the WWE style of booking is have someone go over to get one guy over. And, yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And, you know, when Dean Ambrose came down to the ring, he came down, you know, and the kookiness of, you know, throwing the popcorn in Kevin Owens' face and doing all of those sort of things. The kookiness of that is just a little bit, I don't know. I don't like seeing Kevin Owens in those sorts of situations where he's made to look like a bit of a fool. I know he's a heel, but there's just a better way to do it. You know, there's a better way to insult Kevin Owens than throwing popcorn in his face, but it served a purpose. I'm really looking forward to the match between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. I think they're going to absolutely tear the house down. It's going to be fantastic. After that, we got Naomi we got Naomi and Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox and Brie Bella. Who cares? Let's move on. Sasha Banks, the way she's been booked, I was having a chat to my mate Alan the other day, and the way Sasha Banks has been booked, she was the most over woman in professional wrestling for the longest time in NXT, and they've ruined her. They've made her. They've done what they do to everybody else, and they have made her normal. She's just like everyone else now. She's just like everyone else, and but I do like the way that she's winning, how she's cheating, she's using her faction to her advantage. That's great. That's fantastic. But goodness me, have they just done nothing with these girls? After that, we got the New Day versus the Lucha Dragons, and man, I'm telling you, I'm starting to get a little bit over the New Day. I think their shtick's a little bit the same. Again, the WWE, their biggest thing is overexposure. They overexpose their stars, and to a degree, of course, it's WWE's fault. But to a degree, you know, they're a victim of just having too much product. They've got a network that runs 24/7. They have, you know, nearly 6 hours of TV to fill, and they just don't have a deep roster. And once guys get over, you know, they're like a new toy. Once you get the new toy, all you want to do is play with it. And then when you break it, you throw it away. And that's exactly what the WWE have done lately with all of these guys, and it's disappointing. But, you know, Lucha Dragons got a win. They needed to get a win as well. I think the Usos, man, if they could be booked better as badass motherfuckers mowing people down as part of like a Roman Reigns faction, you know, I reckon that would be pretty cool. We move on. Miz TV versus Charlotte. Miz TV versus Charlotte. Well, it could have been, I guess, because it was pretty intense. I actually really enjoyed this. Miz TV with Charlotte and Ric Flair. Charlotte, sort of, she's going heel. I don't understand why you would do something like Paige saying something about her dead brother and getting that sympathy, yet now Paige can anybody explain to me what's happening here? it started off as a really good angle. Playing the Ric Flair card, you're only here because you're old man. That's great. That's all well and good. But yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, I don't know how much I really did enjoy this because it's so confusing. I don't know whether Charlotte's a heel or a face. And she was so over as a babyface because people had sympathy for her. And now I just don't know. And I think that's just a trend, isn't it? It really is. The fact that Charlotte waited for Ric Flair to give her the okay to get in the ring didn't make sense either. If I saw someone slap my dad across the face, I'd be straight on top of him. I wouldn't need to wait until someone told me to get in the ring. Anyway, for the sake of moving this forward, I'm thinking out loud right now, so maybe you guys can think out loud in the comments as well. Ryback versus Rusev was after that. Don't care. Who cares about Rusev? Who cares about Lana? Who cares about Ryback? Nobody cares. The stuff at the end with Lana faking an injury, Ryback, pretending to care about her. Who cares? Fucking hell. I mean, seriously, what have they done to Rusev? What have they done to Rusev? So we then got Stardust in the Star Room getting interrupted again by Titus O'Neil. Again, WWE going back to the well with things that I thought it was funny the last time, but now the WWE, they catch it. If they see any kind of positivity towards some segment, they'll do it 600 times. So we can keep expecting seeing Stardust getting interrupted. But what I do like about this whole thing is that Titus O'Neil is trying to bring back Cody Rhodes, and that's just brilliant. That has to happen. I'm sorry. It has to happen. Stardust is dead in the water. I don't even think he does anything with the Ascension anymore, does he? Unless I'm missing something or it's on SmackDown or something like that. But anyway, the subsequent match was Jack Swagger versus Stardust, and Swagger won it via submission. So they're sort of playing the card of let's get Stardust to lose a ton of matches, and then he can break out of this Stardust character and come back as Cody Rhodes. I like the direction. I really want it to happen. After that, we had the backstage segment. Del Rio ditching Zeb Coulter. Very, very smart. I'm glad the WWE are knocking this on its head. But still, the way it happened out the back, the crowd was laughing. It was meant to be a really intense sequence to show that Del Rio was serious. But because of how much of a joke they've made this, with this Mex America bullshit, I do not know who thought that was a fucking good idea, seriously. With this Mex America garbage, it's dead in the water. But the way Zeb Coulter pulled away on the scooter was hilarious. I even laughed at home. So, it really does nothing. It was a mistake from the start, but I'm glad that it's happened. I'm glad that it's all over and Del Rio's done with Zeb Coulter. He can move on. Fantastic. Great. After that, we had a little promo, and we found out that Tommy Dreamer was going to take on Braun Strowman. So, nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Tommy Dreamer, great for a nostalgia pop. He was destroyed by Braun Strowman, and nobody cared. And putting this at the end, towards the end of the show, was, I don't understand. By this time, I'd fully checked out. We then moved on after. I'm just going to get through this, guys, because it's really tough. It's really tough. And I actually have a question for you, and I'm just thinking of this right now. I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to leave it in the comments below. That'll be the question of the week. Would you prefer to listen to an NXT review, a show that I actually really love and care about, or a Raw review every week? Because I would actually almost rather just review NXT, because this is a struggle. I'm struggling with this, and I have to be honest with you guys. To watch, I'm still going to watch Raw. So maybe I'll do a mixture of both. Maybe now I'll start doing NXT and Raw. Let me know in the comments below. Do you want to hear me talk about NXT, or do you want to, it's not so much me just talking about NXT. I like talking in the comments with you guys about this sort of stuff as well. So let me know in the comments. We'll finish off the review with the Sheamus and Roman Reigns stare down. Man, what a waste of fucking time that was. I tuned out. I actually don't know what happened. I think Sheamus went through a table or something, did he? Hang on, I'll just read through what happened. It got an F on Bleacher Report. I can see that. The segment meant to be the final selling point. Yeah, Reigns, blah, blah, blah. By the time the brawl erupted, several fans had likely tuned out. Yep, that was me. And nobody cares. This segment's, it's rubbish. Basically, they're saying it was rubbish as well. So if you're trying to sell people on a pay-per-view, that's not the way to do it. That's 101. So is anybody really looking forward to TLC? I'm not. I don't care about anything except for maybe the match that's on your screen right now. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title. I think that's going to be fantastic. But anyway, that's going to do the review for this week. I know it's been a bit sloppy, guys. It is 2:30 in the morning. I've just finished work. I'm just trying to get this out to you guys to give you my thoughts on Raw. Disappointing show, but that's becoming the norm. Unfortunately, that's just becoming the norm. So, as always, for Murph's YT13, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one, where we might even just review NXT. We'll just see. Let's do things we enjoy. Don't they say that you should find something you love and do that every day? Well, I'd watch NXT every day. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.